I thought that was a typo. I thought it said game volume, and it was like a weird typo, but no, it's cane volume. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, welcome to Perception. Got this code a few weeks ago, but I had other stuff, actually like probably 2 months ago, actually. At the time, I had just recently played Scanner Somber, and I didn't want to play 2 games on the channel back-to-back that were about being a blind person that can't see in their surroundings and has to use some sort of other gimmick to get around. In Scanner Somber's case, you weren't blind, but you were in a dark place with literally no light, so you're using a device to see. And in this case, we're gonna daredevil it, basically, I believe, with the sound waves and everything. And then after that, I played Canarium. I'm like, well, now I just played a first-person horror game. Do I want to play another? I don't want to play 2 first-person horror games back-to-back, do I? So we went and did Dr. Decker for almost a month, and that's over now. So I figured it's time to finally get around to Perception, a game I got a code for. It was provided for me. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word provided all of a sudden. So we're playing as a girl. I think she's exploring a house that's important to her or something. I'm going into this blind as usual, and yes, I just realized I just said blind in a game about a blind person. So we'll find out as we go along, but I get the feeling this is going to be maybe not amnesia levels, but a bit more horror-y than Scanner Somber ultimately was, I think. We'll see how it goes. What is this? Oh. Chatty Cassie and Silent Night. I like to get to know my character. Cassie will talk a fair amount. Recommended. Or I prefer my character to be on the quiet side. Cassie will only speak for plot-critical lines. Huh. So if you want to shut up your protagonist or get fully immersed and be like, no, I'm the character, not her, then I guess Silent Night would be the choice. I like chatty characters. Even if it means I get cut off mid-sentence and you hear me go, huh, oh, I'll finish that thought later. Because the game's talking now and it can't hear me.
When you're blind, you learn a thing or two about trust. You learn who to trust.
Creepy Cassie! Never gonna find out. Cassie can't see.
You learn what to trust.
Focus, Cassie. What's this sound?
A fan.
Good. Now, what's in front of the fan?
I don't know.
Cassie, sounds are how we see. Listen. Tap your cane.
It's a coffee mug.
Right. Excellent. Though you are without sight, it does not mean you cannot see.
And most importantly, you learn to trust yourself. Even if that means hopping on the first flight to Boston to find the mansion from your nightmares. I don't know why I've been having these dreams for months now, and I certainly don't know what's waiting for me at Echo Bluff. But I do know I can't take much more of the torment. So I'm trusting myself to get to the bottom of it.
That cane does not go far. Hey, helpful wind, thank you. So yeah, I don't think this is how being blind works, but well, I'll run with it.
Hello?
Cassie, I'm on my way. Just stay put.
Listen, I need to do this.
Hang out at the cafe for a few hours. I'll be there soon.
I'm at the door.
Wait, don't hang up.
That's a really cool visual, which is a weird thing to say about a game where you play as a blind person. But judging by the general horror approach I think the game's gonna have, you can definitely get a sense of like, oh, using a cane to get around, using a cane to make noise. It's like the lanterns or flashlights and stuff from some games where like, you're doing something that attracts attention to yourself in order to navigate. In those other games you're using a light source that'll make you visible. In this game you're now using a cane that just... It's even worse than visibility. You can hear further than you can see when you're indoors sometimes.
Hello? I know nobody's there, but Just doing my due diligence. Hello? Probably should have worked out a plan if someone is, here.
Being not alone is pretty good for the whole what to do if someone else is here.
Moving out? Or moving in? Nobody's supposed to be here.
That's a lot of boxes, actually. Oh no, we're moving into the house from Resident Evil 7. Oh no. This was a terrible mistake. Go back. Door closed behind me.
Miss Cassie, you're here for a reason. In my dreams, I always see a rope, a ticket, an apple, and an axe. Maybe start there?
A rope, a ticket, an apple, and an axe. You got me mid-word.
Hate fire.
One of those things where that would have only gotten only the slightest cringe from me. I'm just like, when the sound happened, but I was literally in the middle of a word, so that word just suddenly got real loud.
Dearest Richard, happy anniversary, my love. What a perfect way to begin our 10th year together. New house, new baby on the way. I know this fresh start is the perfect way to complete our family. Felicia.
What was that? A memory?
Going this way now. Going this way now. Going this way now. What was that? That's not good. Also, I was like, how is she reading this? At first I was like, maybe she could read a card via like the what do you call it, the bevel and emboss or whatever it's called, the indentations of it by running your fingers along it if you're really good at recognizing weird cursive card handwriting. But the person wrote on it. That'd be really hard to make out, like the pen or whatever they wrote with, or a Sharpie, which would have like no indentation at all. But apparently she just like sucks memories into her brain via paper, because that's what blind people do.
Felicia's pregnancy suits her. She glows. She walks around holding her tummy. Sometimes she just smiles for no reason. I was worried about the solitude of this place, but I think the impending addition is going to be her whole world. Until then, I just need to keep a batch of chocolate chip cookies on hand at all times. It appears cravings aren't just a wives' tale.
Felicia's pregnant. Whoever Felicia is. And now we get to deal with the fact that we're going in this place that clearly has some signs of people around it. There's even food lying around. And on top of there being food lying around, there's, now steps walking around. Which is basically the creepiest thing that could happen right now. Whoa, that's a new sound.
What was that?
Use your sixth sense for your next goal. Huh. We're getting spooky noises. Not here. So she has a sixth sense, an echolocation, and she can suck memories into her brain via paper. She's got a lot of superpowers for a blind person. You might have actually, like, traded up.
Hello?
Huh. Spooky ghosts? Well, we're not gonna be able to see a ghost via echolocation. But it might not be a ghost, it might just be a person dragging that in front of the door to stop me from going that way. But even then, it's like, do they know I'm blind and can't see them?
Now, Cassie, that music box belongs to St. Joseph's, not to Cassie Thornton. Put it back.
But I need the music box to help me fall asleep. It's a new house. I'm scared to go. But I love this song. Okay. Fine. I'll leave it for the next girl. Wish I'd left that one buried in the backyard. What brought that back?
So we're an orphan, apparently. Is that what's going on? We're blind. We were blind back then already. We're orphaned. We grew up in an orphanage and even had like a specific music box that would help us sleep. Memories brought back by this being here. This is where the crib used to be, the one that's blocking the door over here. But it's not now. Come and get.
The rope.
I've always loved this agate's healing properties, but last week when I had a stomachache, I went to touch it and it was hot. The stone wasn't in the sunlight or by a heater, and the stones around it were cool to the touch. What really worries me is that it's a protection stone.
Maybe it's sucking up all that demon fluid. Blah. That's demon juju. Is that the other one I can grab? Can I recognize anything? It's so hard when it's just like a polygon.
I don't understand. This is the rope. The same damn rope from my dreams. What the hell does it mean? Damn. Guess I still have some digging around to do.
Wish I'd left that one buried in the backyard.
Well, that was creepy. It was like it was what I said. Repeated back to me, but via weird monster stuff. The game made a point to explain no need to hide, which is pretty funny. Like, no, don't worry, this is a story bit. Never seen that. I've never seen that kind of warning hit before in a game like this.
Gloucester's an interesting town. Salty. Not unfriendly, mind you, but rough around the edges. Wary of outsiders. There's a sort of paranoia in the air. A collective nervousness all the folks share. They're a jittery sort that could use a downer here or there. I wonder if it's due to the town's fishing village nature, a sort of impermanence that comes with working in the sea. An odd place, but not entirely unpleasant, just charged. That or they didn't like this house's previous owners.
Bloop. I know I'm pretty sure it's an indie game, but just as a note, I can't help but think like the atmosphere of these kinds of moments might be significantly increased. Ooh. If instead of being a constant torrent of noise coming out of this thing, if the noise came out in waves in sync with the guy talking, and like whenever he paused the room would be dark, and whenever he and then it would be lit up by every sound he made, and then go dark between every little phrase when he pauses again, because he wasn't always continuously speaking. And it would help draw a connection between the audio you're hearing and the visual you're seeing, and the idea that those two are connected in our protagonist's world.
What the pregnancy manuals don't prepare you for is that first kick. It feels like you swallowed a big fat goldfish and it's flopping around in your stomach. Maybe we'll name her Goldie.
So, kind of obvious train of thought to go on now. Everything we're finding in this house is referring to some kind of idea of like a pregnancy, a child, and so on. And we grew up in an orphanage, and maybe we don't know why we grew up in an orphanage, and maybe we're drawn to this house in our dreams because it's where we were born. That explains why we recognize pieces of it, and why we're somehow... Well, it doesn't really make... The memories make a lot of sense, except for maybe on a supernatural level, of maybe there are our mother's memories coming back to us somehow. The fact that we had the fact that we could only go to sleep if we heard that one music box that sounded kind of like the... whatever you call the thing that goes over a crib with the stars and everything, the astrarium, or I don't know what it's called. The fact that that thing had sounded similar to the thing that I needed to use in order to go to sleep at night at the orphanage, it probably is because it's the same sound that I would hear back at my actual home. We're probably visiting the home we were born in, even if we don't know. I do wonder how we found it. This is where we were blocked from going before.
I keep finding these little things in the strangest places around the house. The last one I threw over the side of the cliff because it made me feel dizzy when I touched it. But here it is. The same one with the unstitched eye back under our bed. And it's a little soggy.
So it didn't just magically rematerialize either. It apparently it's still wet from her throwing it over the cliff.
Tossing and turning and tossing and turning. I used to sleep on my belly before I got pregnant. Now I roll around like a woman possessed. This baby kicks so frantically sometimes. It must be very excited. I hope.
So she believes in protection. She believes in protection stones and other nonsense like that. So she probably believes in all sorts of supernatural things, like, and like maybe even like elements like the devil and stuff like that. And maybe thought that maybe she specifically gave up the baby because she thought it was possessed or something, especially with something like that showing up. And given this universe, that stuff may not be nonsense at all in this story's fictional context, because we do have powers, clearly. Like, we're doing stuff that's impossible right now. We see things somehow, even without the sound wave stuff. And we constantly see stuff around the... I guess the idea is that the house is kind of creaky, but still, like, this just, like, Sonic... This Sonic Daredevil power is, like, impossible regardless. And on top of that, we're absorbing memories and doing all these other weird things. So we can hide here? Oh, okay. I thought I triggered an event with that one chest. And so I thought that I thought it triggered a cutscene, and then the game was warning me that this isn't a real scary this isn't a real threat. Don't worry, don't hide. But no, I was clicking on the chest, and that's a hiding spot, and that's why I said no need to hide. That makes more sense. Okay. It might have even been a coincidence that that one scene triggered in the first place. Are you just a constant noise source? Maybe I can use you to distract them, like the opponent if it shows up, because now we've clearly established a hiding mechanic, so something's going to happen sooner or later. Came from that door, right? I don't think I addressed it before, but a curiosity was the fact that when I looked at the rope, we got a everything turned orange instead of blue. Like, my entire way of perceiving reality changed for a moment there. I like this detail, by the way, that all the paintings are just the texture of a canvas and nothing else, because of the fact that we can't see anything like that. That's all we get is the vague feeling texture, and that's nothing else, because we can't see paintings. We're seeing more and more games sort of get away with the idea of not having to have textures in your game, because textures are hard to make look good, but you can make polygons. So that's where I tried to hide a second ago. And to the game's credit, some of these games do a really good job at not having textures. Like, this is a neat looking setup. Even if it looks like the cutout filter you can use in, like, OrphanView or something. Door's open. What if we don't go that way? Eat. Can I open the fridge? What if you had to rest at these, like, bonfires or something for checkpoints? Okay, that's an arrow made of cans.
Was the tree in my dreams and I just forgot?
Ah.
What the hell? Who's here?
What just happened? I didn't even see the tree. I clicked on that. Not a good sound. Sounds like they're throwing up. Maybe it's just a reference. Maybe it's just memories of the, of our mother throwing up a lot during the pregnancy phase. I don't like that. It's a really gross sound.
Ghosts. Actual ghosts.
Oh, there we go.
Honey, can you grab the pills you prescribed me for morning sickness? I left my purse in the car.
Yeah, sure. I'll grab him. Jesus.
Am I gonna go get the pills for Ghost? Is that what's gonna happen? Sure thing, Ghost Mom. I'll get right on it. Easy. Oh hey, we're right back outside. That's a cool visual. I really like that. Okay. It's the liquor from Resident Evil.
Imagining things, Cass.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We're going now. Also, running as a blind person seems like a bad idea. Just to blindly run in this uneven terrain. Look how easily you can catch your toe in one of those tiles and just slam on your face. Not to mention these random chunks of terrain everywhere. But I guess we are magic, and we can see that all. Is that a bird noise? You're right to be scared. Owls are spooky. It could have clawed you or something. They could be dangerous. Scan with Delphi? Okay, new question. Oh.
Delphi. Text-to-speech.
Patient, Briar, Felicia. 20 milligrams fluoxetine, tabs. Instructions, take twice daily with water. Dr. Richard Briar.
What kind of doctor prescribes to his own wife?
That's a nice touch. So Delphi is our phone app that does text-to-speech, so we can try to read things as a blind person. That's cool, and it probably is a completely real thing. I mean, when I put my checks in an ATM, like it'll like know what's written on the ATM, and that's like handwriting, let alone like actual typefacing. So, the idea of putting a text-to-speech on a text interpreting application is actually a pretty logical step, and probably really exists. Although, trying to navigate a smartphone to find it sounds like a pain.
New text message from Serge.
Hey, about to board. What's up? Not angry, just concerned.
Look, I need answers. I just got here and this shit's messed up. I'm onto something. And I'm starting to think I'm having these nightmares for a reason.
Message sent.
So I think we're just interpreting, like the text-to-speech is not going to know this person's voice like that. So I'm guessing she's just interpreting the text-to-speech as being the guy's voice, just for better immersion. But man, maybe be on the phone constantly with this person since you apparently have reception here. I doubt you have data. I doubt that you have like a data connection via Wi-Fi or something. So like I assume you have a reception.
Feels different.
Yeah, didn't the layout just change while I was gone? I think it did.
that thing was in the garage again. With the baby sitting on my bladder, it took all my self-control not to wet myself. My nerves are shot. I need some tea.
So she started seeing monsters and she's like, "Get out of here, baby, you're going to the orphanage. It's obviously your fault." This is the room where the arrow was? Yeah. But that wasn't attached like this, was it? Like a little baby guard? Like Rugrats? Is that what those are? I never saw one of those, I don't think. Outside of Rugrats, basically. Or for... I've seen a few gates for dogs, I guess.
We have no real neighbors, so the only folks we've met have been at local markets. Brief interactions. Felicia and I aren't bar-hopping types, so for the most part, we're alone up here. I don't mind the solitude myself. In fact, I thrive when it's just me and my thoughts. But I'm worried Felicia's going to want some girlfriends. I should encourage her to get out more. And make sure she doesn't mention our address.
Don't mention your address. Curious. Sounds like your address is like a spooky haunted location that's locally infamous or something. And that people would react poorly. Oh, the dolls are collectibles, aren't they? I just found another one of them. If I find them all, maybe something happens. Or maybe it's just like, hey, you found these ones out of these many.
Who is master of the world? Man or the insect? Nature's most persistent creatures representing 9/10 of all forms of life.
Sounds like just a general broadcast. Nature documentary. Probably not lore intensive, but I feel like I should turn on noise sources just because it helps me see better. It's like turning on a lantern in a game. But of course, I bet that if a monster shows up, we probably use it as a distraction to go hide. Can you hide here? Is that how this works? And loud, piercing noises. I don't know what the fireplace does. These things you can open. Other green things you can use in some way. TVs you can turn on. So I kind of thought maybe you'd be able to turn it on, but they did say they said landmarks are green. So I guess maybe a fireplace is just a landmark and nothing else. There's food on the tables. Looks like bread.
I'll be out in a bit. Just leave it on the bar, honey. Thank you.
So I made my way back. I don't think the house layout changed, but I think stuff in the house changed while we were gone. There's the pills location.
Each one is absolute crap. I've got a stack of JAMA journals up to my chin, and every issue is stuffed with pompous pseudo-intellectual prattle about the dangers of the medical model and the anti-pharmaceutical movement. Do no harm, my ass. One of my colleagues going to get back to what matters, the patient. Not commentary on the state of bennies. This drivel serves no one.
Did I break something just now? Wait, did they unbreak? Did I just break glass and there was like a pile of broken glass and I looked back and it was unbroken? Are we being a spooky ghost right now? Is that what we're doing?
Super. Now that I'm done running ghost errands, I can get back to the snooping.
I feel like the ghost would be the primary concern right now. Forget other things. Let's do ghost errands all day. We're here to uncover a mystery, and we found ghosts. That shouldn't be like a minor diversion. That should be like the most important thing. Like, oh, the ghost. That's why I keep dreaming about this place. There's a fire running here. You said you hate fire, but fire creates sound, which with our superpower means that it's essentially a light source, just like it is for everyone else.
Delphi. Text to speech.
Nancy Chang's Chinese cuisine.
Okay. That's it. The introduction of the app launching took longer than the message. You're not gonna read me the entire Chinese menu?